time, we're going to take David in North Carolina.
What's up, David?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. Look at that. I have a lower third made for you already. Thank you for calling in. So it says in the notes you want to talk about the functional truth of magical practices. What the hell is that?
Well,
pick a card.
I don't want to be. I'll put forth, I guess, a good, possibly true self-criticism from the get. I suppose I'll be endeavoring the realm of apologetics, of rationalizing magical practices, but I don't really see that as a modern or new thing. I was raised in Advaita Vedanta, one of the most ancient religious traditions in the world, and it's always been atheist.
Can I have a specific example of a magical practice before we get into it?
Okay,
because
sure.
I don't even necessarily know what you're talking about in that topic.
This is for
so just like some detail of something you did lately that falls in that category.
No. I don't practice magic. I mean, I study various things people might call that, but
what?
No, I'm not a. Well, I mean, I could use a lot of more easily accessible, relatable examples, but I don't think that would actually serve us well. Instead, I'd like to.
But
use
I'm
voodoo.
Asking for one.
Oh, voodoo.
Right, you're not hearing me, sir. I'm not looking for I am looking to serve the conversation and serve what you asked, but I think that a more extreme magical practice would serve us better here.
Okay.
Instead of just astrology.
So
voodoo and the Chavot.
Voodoo.
Okay, I need something more than a general word. Like, do you make dolls and poke them with pins?
I know. I was continuing to speak about it, but
okay. Sorry, go on.
Cut me off and make it look small. All right. So the Chavot, it's a trans mediumship that many, I think culturally, but they develop in childhood. And I had to, when analyzing it, really ask myself the question. Now, I might need to caveat this afterwards. How much do I believe in the effects of dissociative identity disorder?
Let's say I don't know what any of those words mean. What are you talking about?
Multiple personality disorder is the old term for DID.
Okay, I think that's a real thing, although I couldn't be sure.
It is.
Okay.
It is. So I when analyzing the channeling of the Loa, I'd ask myself, how much do I validate the claimed cognitive separation of people with dissociative disorder?
Got it. Can I try and restate that to you?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like what you're saying is just an allusion to the idea that a whole lot of mystical practices are rooting in a misunderstanding of mental health issues. That
no, mental health issues demand dysfunctionality. We have many exotic states of consciousness that are not necessarily maladaptive health.
Well, true. One example that I would bring up is native treatment of non-binary genders. That has been something that we've seen in history throughout human history. That's just a thing that's not maladaptive. But when we're specifically talking about supernatural practices, what is a non-maladaptive root of a spiritual?
I don't look for supernatural.
Okay.
I look for preternatural things that are actually real and functional, but might seem like magic. Yeah, there's that. I love that saying from Westworld. Everything in the world is magic except to the magician.
Which character said that? I'm trying to remember.
Was it Bernard?
Ford.
Oh.
Now Ford talking.
Oh, the scumbag of the. Wait, no. Was that Ed Harris?
No. Ford is Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anyway. Yes. I have no idea where we're going with this, David.
Sorry.
No. What's going on? I'm lost.
Combo. I don't know if we can get very far with it, but I'm glad to have had a little time and chatting with you guys.
I feel like I have no idea where we went.
Yeah, I asked for like a specific example of what a magical practice is, And you said a lot of big words like maladaptive and
We're adults. That's not a big word. You're not
yeah.
a teenager, sir.
No,
Maladaptive is
I know what maladaptive means, but I don't understand by like what you were getting at with any particular thing, which is why I was wondering what's an example of a thing you could do that's a magical practice?
well, a thing that people do that would be dubbed a magical practice that I was
Yeah.
referencing is that voodoo practitioners
Yeah.
or people that are raised in the culture, I think. I don't want to make the claim that you could like discover this about yourself and have no exposure to it. I don't think that's reasonable, but that children start channeling the Loa as children.
What does channeling the
And
Loa mean? What do they do that looks like channeling a
I'm
Loa?
sorry, yeah. Okay, so
I'm not saying I haven't
very
heard
basic
any of
sense.
these words before. I'm just saying,
Right, there's an
What
audience
is
to
it?
think about too, and I want to be unaccessible.
Yeah,
Thank you.
like a trance, like a spiritual trance, possibly.
Yeah, and okay, in a most basic sense, it's spirit channeling or God's channeling. I mean, some of the Loa that are channeled are like Jesus and Mary.
so they're going into a trance. So they're like sitting there closing their eyes.
Kind of like turn of the century mediums,
And then the
running
magical
around.
practice is that Jesus actually shows up somehow.
or that like a
No,
spirit
they
enters their body,
but
maybe.
they're
Enters the
well, the cosmological concepts behind it is that their personage, their personality spirit conforms to the personality spirit of the Loa. To me, that sounds very much like just
So going back to
Expressing
Westworld, I mean, Anthony Hopkins, like channeled being this Ford guy who invented all the robots on Westworld, right? And he's very convincing with this personality that is probably nothing like the way Anthony Hopkins acts in real life. Would you say
that's
that
about
him
DID.
doing acting is a magical practice?
No, but we get to my statement about DID. Is a
DID.
person that
The
experiences
multiple personalities.
dissociative identity disorder.
All right.
How much of that am I willing to call faking, or how much of it am I willing to say is real in some way?
I wouldn't.
For me, I wouldn't necessarily call it either faking or real in some way.
The idea of calling somebody out as faking that is weird and awful to me.
Yeah,
People can
DSM will tell
believe
you it's
things
not
that are
faking,
not true
period.
without intentionally trying to deceive somebody else.
The DID will tell you that the personas are not faking, and that they have real memory blocks that divide the personalities and their development.
Okay, so what do you think
All
is
right.
this functional truth before we move on?
I'm sorry, I heard you, but could you say it again, please?
Dude, the fact that you're asking me to repeat myself is the least you can do, considering how offbeat I've been on several of the calls. David, you're good. So
It's me being here, which is
no,
Right.
Russell, don't
spoiling
even,
your ability to concentrate.
no. As a programmer, no, David. I feel like I at least want to hear from you. You wanted to talk about a functional truth here, and we never got the chance to engage with it. And so, if anything, at least the people in the comments can get to engage with it, and maybe we can engage with those ideas later. So I want you to get the chance to, what's the core of this thesis?
Well, if I was going to say a functional truth with the example that I'm using is that they, the Voodoo Hogans and Mumbos and Bokor, they certainly developed some kind of incredible pharmacology in just 30 years of being on the island with new everything, and came up with psychoactive powders that among the I don't know if you've seen the movie Serpent or read the book Serpent in the Rainbow.
Nope.
But it's quite an incredible. It puts you
No worries, it's okay.
into a deep state, and they such a state that they'll spend a few days buried in a box, being believed dead.
That
They're not
sounds
dead
awful.
in the sense that their brain isn't rotting, and if they don't die of deoxygenation, they may come back.
So what's
Okay.
the fundamental truth of this?
So they are doing things that are putting them in a super uncomfortable state, but not killing them. That doesn't
No, they're
seem
developing
magical to me.
pharmacology that has incredible effects with no lab.
Oh, I think I got I think I got the core of that. So what you're saying is that the functional truth of it is that we can convince ourselves of things and kind of to some degree have it influence our reality.
And taking drugs makes it easier.
Yeah, is
No,
that where
I'm
we're at?
talking about the advent of the drugs. How did they come up with the drugs with no labs in incredibly short time with no scientific method?
I mean,
You know, people lick toads. It's not like it's not like every
complicated
drug
than
gets developed with like complete knowledge of chemical composition.
yeah, I mean, go to a prison, you're going to see a whole lot of bathtub hooch or, toilet wine. Like, leave people alone long enough, they're going to figure out how to trip balls somehow.
Well, that's
Like-
what I'm saying. In 30 years, they found the hidden little liver piece of an otherwise completely toxic fish, figured out how to pull it out, then powderize it, then alkylate it, and then mix it with a bunch of other things I don't think have any effect, and all that within 30 years of being moved to the island.
Is that the functional truth that at some point we are going to figure out how to trip balls? Because if that's the case, I'm behind it.
And I'm boring, so
Russell, why are you so mean to yourself? Russell, be nice to my friend. Russell is my friend, and he doesn't deserve that shit, okay? Be nice to my friend.
All right,
Fine.
right. I'm just saying I don't do a lot of drugs, but I'm not too judgmental about it.
Fair. Okay, I didn't let you finish. I'm sorry. David,
And that's why I'm boring, is the point.
you're good. David,
Good combo.
I wish we had the time to have a more productive one, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. People in the comments, let us know what you think and how we could move forward in a conversation like this. In the meantime, David, thank you for calling.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.